Welcome back to the video, and in today's video, we're going to be doing the same thing that we last week did with quarterbacks, but with running backs and giving them their Madden ratings. You can see the scales below. They're pretty similar to the quarterback ones. We have 75 or below, 76 to 80, 81 to 86, 87 to 92, and 93 plus. Obviously, if you don't know what Madden is, it's basically the NFL video game. In these ratings, the higher it gets, the better you are. And I'm going to be giving you all of these guys here. Thank you guys so much for making whoever made this tier list. You have all the update stuff like you have McCaffrey and the Niners. You have everything going for you. So I really do appreciate you doing this, and everything looks good. So let's get started into the video. But before we start getting into the video, please make sure to subscribe to the channel if you are not yet subscribed. We are currently at 513 subscribers. The growth has been amazing, but we are on the road to 600. So if you are new and you like the content, please make sure to subscribe. And that's about all I can say. Let's get straight to the video of giving every single NFL player their Madden rating. First one we have is Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones a 90. He still deserves to be a 90, I think. I think if he isn't a 90, I think next year he probably gets out of that 90 range, but I still think he deserves to be a 90 plus running back. Yes, he is sharing with A.J. Dillon, and that's going to bump him down a little bit, but I still have faith in Aaron Jones. I think he is still a very, very good running back. And I think he's sort of underrated now because people kind of like forgot about him because they're like, okay, A.J. Dillon's just going to be coming up, but he's still legit an amazing running back, especially receiving back. Next we have A.J. Dillon. I'm putting A.J. Dillon at an 81. Low, yes, low 80s. I know sometimes people get mad at me, but he literally is just kind of like a 1 yard rusher. And although he runs really, really well, and although he does have a lot of good yards per carry, we need to see a little more, especially in the receiving game. We need to see him with a full workload, I think. So either you gotta split them apart. Either A.J. Dillon's gotta leave, or Aaron Jones has gotta leave. And I think if they both leave, they're gonna thrive even more. But currently, I'm gonna put A.J. Dillon at an 81. Next up, we have Alvin Kamara, and this is a little bit hard because we know Alvin Kamara's potential. We know how good he is. He is in that 93 plus category, his full potential. But last year, he didn't look that good. I'm going to say an 87 because we don't know his full workload. We don't know. He's had a lot of things outside of football that have been managing his career recently, and we can't really over project him right now because he hasn't been playing a lot. So I think 87 is a fine rating for him, but he definitely is starting to drop off. Next, we have Austin Eckler, 95. He deserves it. He's amazing. Top 5 running back in the league. Honestly, arguably top 3. Really, really good receiving back, rushing. He can do it all. People just think that because he's not a 1,000 yard rushing back, that he is somehow bad. But you look at his rushing, look at his receiving. He might have the most total yards out of any running back. Don't fact check me on that, but it could be true. He's just incredible. Really good, valuable running back, both in the receiving game and the running game. He's definitely a 95. Next will be Brian Robinson. I'm not jumping the gun on this guy too early. 79. I think Brian Robinson is decent. But I mean, it's a good story that he was able to get back from being shot and was able to play. So that's super nice. But overall, as a running back this year, he didn't really portray anything crazy. He's decent, but you can't really put him too high. I'm just gonna keep him at 79. Next, we have Cam Akers. I'm going to put Cam Akers at an 80. Again, I'm not jumping the gun on him. I think he's a little better than Brian Robinson. Why don't we order these as well so people can kind of get it? Yeah, I think I'm not jumping the gun on Cam Akers too much. He had a really, really good end of the year last year, but we need to see, I think, a full year of that kind of work to put him a lot higher. I think he can definitely get there. I'm trusting him. I drafted him on my fantasy team. I have trust in him, but we need to see it. Next we have Christian McCaffrey, 96 or 97. I don't know which one. I'm going to say 96 because of the fact that he does get injured a lot. I think that him and Eckler are really, really close. I think Christian McCaffrey's a little better in respectively. I think they're both fantastic ratings. I just think I'd rather have Christian McCaffrey a little more than Austin Eckler. But McCaffrey's an amazing running back. I mean, again, kind of similar to like an Eckler, though. Receiving, can rush, can do it all. Can even throw a little bit, apparently. He's an incredible running back. The only reason I'm not putting him to that 99, 98, 97 range because he does get injured a lot. If he can stay healthy, though, he can definitely get up in those tiers. Next, we have Dalvin Cook. I'm putting Dalvin Cook at a 92. I can't put him in that 93 plus category anymore. If we're ordering these, yeah. Although I do think he is a really, really good running back still. The age is getting to him. He's not as good as he used to be, So that's why I really can't put him in that 93 plus tier anymore. But I think he still has the potential to be there. Some games he'll go off, other games he won't, so I'm putting him at 92. Next we have Dameon Pierce. I'm putting Dameon Pierce at 82. I think he deserves it. I think he had a very solid rookie year. I think he's still better than A.J. Dillon because he's getting more of that workload. You got to give him some credit for that. He had a very, very decent rookie year. Apart from injuries, he had a very good rookie year. Next we have DeAndre Swift. I'm putting DeAndre Swift at 84. Again, I cannot jump the gun on this guy because he is technically last year, I mean, he probably had the worst year out of the Lions running back. I think Jamal Williams had a better year, but he should get more of a workload this year because Jamal Williams is out, even though they had David Montgomery said maybe not. I still think DeAndre Swift's a very, very underrated good running back. He's just not getting a chance because they constantly just get people to split the workload with him. Next up, speaking of the dude, David Montgomery, 85. I'm going to go one higher than DeAndre Swift. They're around the same tier, but I think David Montgomery has showed a little bit more in his career than DeAndre Swift. Not much to talk about here. They're very, very similar backs. I'm just taking DeAndre Swift David Montgomery just slightly. Next, we have Derrick Henry. He's a 99. I don't think there's any complaint with that. He is the best running back in the league. Bulldozer. And he's also getting better in the receiving game. Like, slowly but surely, he's actually getting better in the receiving game. But, bro, he's like almost a 2,000-yard rusher. You got to put him at 99. Next, we have Devin Singletary. Very, very underrated. I'm putting him at 83. Because I think he's a very, very underrated back. I actually see him doing pretty well for the Texans. He's just a consistent back. He'll get you 800 yards and 5 touchdowns, and he'll be consistent like that. And that's what you need in a running back, consistency. I think he's a very consistent running back. I'm going to give him some praise for that. Dante Foreman, as much as I like the guy, 77. I think he's a little, no, 78. I still don't think, 79. I'm going to go 79. I'm going to put him above Robinson. I think he is better than Brian Robinson. But Dante Foreman, he just isn't a starter anymore. I think he's decent. I think he's more serviceable than anything else. Next up, we have Zeke. This is an interesting one. Obviously, he's not with the Cowboys anymore. Where do I put Zeke? At the end of the day, I'm putting Zeke at an 86. I can't put him in that 87, 92 tier anymore because you could see that he literally lost his job to Tony Pollard. I think Tony Pollard's a fantastic back, but he lost his job to him. He got cut. He wasn't worth the money. I'm putting him at 86. That's still a very, very decent rating. Definitely an above average rating. But I have to be respectful, and I have to put him there because I just got to be honest. Next up, we have Isaiah Pacheco. I'm putting Isaiah Pacheco at an 84. Very, very underrated running back, in my opinion. Really showed it this year. He had a really, really good, solid year. I'm not going to jump the gun on him too much, but I have a lot of potential in this dude. I think he's a really good running back, especially what he showed in the playoffs as well. Next, we have Jamal Williams. I ain't going to lie to you. The thing is he is definitely more of just a touchdown guy. So I'm gonna put him at 85 with David because although I think that they're very, very similar running backs, although Jamal had a better year, I think they're both very, very similar running backs. I don't know quite who I would take in that situation, so I'm gonna put them in the same tier. Next to be a James Conner. I'm putting everyone in the same tier. I might need to switch this out a little bit. I'm gonna put James Conner at like an 80. I'm gonna put him with Devin Singletary at like an 83-ish. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna change that. I'm gonna put A.J. Dillon at 80. I'm putting also Dameon Pierce at 80 because he's been injured a lot. We need to see a little more. I'm gonna keep it like that. But yeah, James Conner, very, very decent running back, but he is quite just a goal line runner, so you can't overly put him too high just because of that. But I think he's a very solid back. Next, we have Jeff Wilson Jr., 77. He really isn't actually, I'm going to go like 75 because he isn't, no, he's still 77. He just isn't really a starter anymore, so he's just not used as much anymore, but I think he's still a decent back. Next, we have J.K. Dobbins. I'm putting J.K. Dobbins at a very, very high 86. He deserves it. I think J.K. Dobbins is phenomenal. I think he's a very underrated back. Now, I will say injuries. I'm going to keep saying it, but he's got to stay healthy. But if he's healthy, he's that top. Next week, Joe Mixon. I'm putting Joe Mixon at an 87. That's all I can do. I'm sorry. Similar to Alvin Kamara, he really, really dropped off this year, and he had a bad year. I'm going to give him credit, though, because we know how good he can be, putting him still in that 87 tier, but it's going to be a low 87. I'm just going to barely put him in that tier. We know the potential, but he really fell off this year. Next, we have Jonathan Taylor. I'm going to say 94. I just don't. After last year, I don't think he's better than Austin Eckler or Christian McCaffrey. I don't think he is. Although I think Jonathan Taylor is a decent running back, very, very good. Last year he struggled, and it was an injury-filled season, but he struggled. And I know he just had a 1,800-yard year a year ago, but I'm just saying, based on last year, what we're going with, I'm putting McCaffrey and Eckler a little higher. Next we have Josh Jacobs. I'm putting Josh Jacobs at a 95. So I'm going to put him better than Jonathan Taylor as well. He's same tier as Austin Eckler with me. Very, very close. Josh Jacobs is a fantastic back. Broke out this year. I mean, he was doing decent before, but he really broke out this year. And honestly, you thought he could drop off during the season. He kept it at a very high standard throughout the season. Definite, 93 plus. Next, we have Kenneth Walker. I'm giving Kenneth Walker some praise. I don't care. He had an amazing rookie year. I'm giving him some help. 88. And honestly, that could be a bit high, and I think it's going to be. Because they'll be like, oh my God, you put Dameon Pierce at an 80, but you're putting Kenneth Walker at an 80. Yes, because look at how Kenneth Walker played last year. Even with the injuries, he was incredible. I love the potential of him. Remember, this is heading into next season. I think he's going to take a big leap, putting Kenneth Walker at that 88 range. Yes, am I saying Kenneth Walker's better than Joe Mixon and Alvin Kamara? Yes, I am. Next, we have Latavius Murray, 75. He's more of a backup at this point. And might as well, Melvin Gordon, 60. When you fumble the ball every single possession, you're not going to get higher than a 60. Both Broncos running backs, they're more backups. They're not actual starters. Next, we have Leonard, fullback. 79? No, it's an 80. He's an 80. He's still an 80. Should have I been ordering these recently? Jeff, yeah, I have. 79. That's all I can go. That's as high as I can go for him. Oh, sorry, 80. He's just not good anymore. You could tell that Brady kind of helped him get his great season a couple years ago, and now he's just starting to fall off. Next, we have Miles Sanders. I'm putting Miles Sanders at an 89. I think he deserves it. He had a really, really good year this year. I think he's a fantastic running back. The only reason why I'm not putting him in that higher category is he does get injured a lot, and also we need to see more consistency of him doing what he did this year, multiple years, and then definitely we'll put him up in that category. Next, we have Najee Harris. I'm not jumping the gun on this guy, 86. He's a good running back, but I'm not jumping the gun on Najee Harris. He really struggled this year, and you can see it was a big step back from his rookie year. You can see some struggles. You can see some weaknesses in his game. So that's as high as I can go with him. Next, we have Nick Chubb, 97. I think he's close with Christian. He's really, really close. It's between those two for 2 and 3. I don't know who I'd go with. It's really close. You could go either way. I'm going to say 96 and tie them because I think that they're both very, very, not similar at all, but very, very, I think they're the same tier. One does better than things than the other, but I think they all deserve to be that same tier. 96, I'm going to put for Nick Chubb. Raheem Mostert, very, very underrated back, honestly. Kind of similar to a Devin Singletary, who I put at an 83. So I'm going to put Raheem Mostert at an 81. I ain't going to jump the gun on Raheem too much. 81. Next, we have Ramondre, very, very underrated back. I'm putting him at an 80. Putting him at an 88. Honestly, going to keep him with Kenneth Walker. I think he's a very, very good running back. I think if the Patriots can actually use him right, he could be a top 5 running back in the league. And that's not even an underestimation. I legitimately have a lot of confidence in this dude. Big boy. When he gets at full speed, bruh, there's no one that can stop him down. 88, sorry. Saquon, I'm putting Saquon at a 94. I'm putting him with Jonathan Taylor. I'm sorry, I can't put him too high because injuries are still a big part. I like Josh Jacobs' running season a little more than Saquon, but he had an amazing year, such as Josh Jacobs. I'm not gonna jump the gun on Saquon too much yet, but I'm putting him there, so I'm pretty much jumping the gun on him. Next, I'm Tony Pollard. I'm gonna give him credit. 90. I'm gonna go 90. I'm going 90. Incredible year, and you can already tell his workload's gonna just incrementally rise with getting rid of Zeke. I see Tony Pollard having at least 1,000 rushing yards easily. Could even break 12,000. 1,200. Travis Etienne. I'm putting Etienne at an 86 with these guys. I know how good he is. Again, really, really good freshman year. We keep saying it. We're going to put him higher, but it wasn't incredible, and that's why I'm not going to put him too high. 86 is a very good rating, though. And last up, we have Tyler Algier, another very underrated running back. I'm putting him at 85, which would be around this tier. I think Tyler Algier is a very, very good running back, and he showed it at the end of the year. And that's the end of my channel of rating every single running back based on their Madden rating, like what I would put them in their Madden rating. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Comment down below where you would have put these running backs and what you think I got wrong or what you think I got right. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.